This is the accusation. They're throwing around the word treason.
I hate to say this, but President Barack Obama, there is now incontrovertible evidence that he was the spearhead of a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people and overthrow the United States government back in 2016.
They're saying that Obama knew that Russia did not meddle in the election, did not have any impact.
It was 8 years that he cried racism every time you criticize him. He says, get tough. Well, where's he been? They've been firebombing stuff and rioting and marching and filibustering, setting records. He's been on the beach in Hawaii licking snow cones. How much tougher can you get with Trump?
All right, let's dish some playground gossip like we're swapping secrets at lunch. Joe Rogan and Jesse Watters are tearing into Barack Obama's shiny image, and it's not pretty. Under all that sparkle, they say it's just a big show, not real change. From fancy war moves to preaching about the environment from a beach mansion, Obama's all talk with no results. This isn't about politics, it's about calling out America's flashiest political star with jokes so sharp they could cut paper.
Can I get a glass of water? This is not a prank. He gets a glass of Flint tap water, and I swear to God, he drinks it like this, like this.
Can I get some water? I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
Usually when something isn't a stunt, you have to say that.
100%.
Have you been to Obama's presidential library? Of course not. No one has. It's been in the works for 8 years, and it's only half done. But it is breaking records for the most days between leaving office and the grand opening. Nearly 3,000 days and counting. Originally, it was supposed to cost $350 million, but a couple minor setbacks, some snowy winters. The price tag is now over $800 million. The Bulls built Jordan the United Center for under $200 million.
Hey, if you're liking this, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. Barack Obama's legacy is like a movie set looks cool but empty inside, all thanks to perfect lights and music. Joe Rogan crashes in like a kid in a candy store, knocking over every shiny memory, while Jesse Watters picks up the pieces with a grin. Obama spent more time building his cool guy vibe than fixing stuff, and it shows in every fancy promise he made for the cameras.
It's fun because things are actually happening. Very different than most of the time when people get elected.
And I will shut down the Federal Department of Education, and we will move everything back to the state.
Most of the time when people get elected, they claim all these things when they're running for president. Then they get into office and not much changes.
Individualize education and do it with the love for their children.
And in fact, a lot of what they campaigned on, they don't practice at all. Great example is the Obama administration. The Hope and Change website had to be changed because there was a bunch of stuff in there about whistleblowers.
I don't think Mr. Snowden was a patriot. I called for a thorough review of our surveillance operations before Mr. Snowden made these leaks. My preference would have been for a lawful, orderly examination of these laws.
Protecting whistleblowers, which they didn't do at all. It was one of the worst administrations for whistleblowers.
For someone who promised hope, Obama sure gave out a lot of dreams that went bad fast. Hope for honesty. Gone when the news asked tough questions. Hope for togetherness. Nope, he called half the country names. He's all about being the smart, relatable guy who can play basketball, make music, and talk policy. But dig deeper, and it's just one long speech that sounds cool but doesn't do anything. Like a talk at a school assembly with no action.
Obama's trying to save the party he destroyed, so he's on a manhunt. But there's one problem. The brothers don't listen to him anymore, so he's trying to transition boys into girls. Barack's got his own rules for men, but these are the rules that made men leave the party in the first place. Barry says guys don't always have to be the providers, as long as they talk about their...
Joe Rogan didn't even try hard to laugh at Obama's need to be the coolest kid in class. His presidency was less about leading and more about showing off with big weapons ready. If charm was enough, he'd be the best leader ever. But for real leadership, he was too busy taking selfies to take charge. Jesse Watters called out that Nobel Peace Prize, saying it was like getting a ribbon just for showing up, not for doing anything big.
When you look at the policies and the attacks on whistleblowers and drone strikes and all the other that happened during that administration and the coup in Russia, and like there's a lot that's, from a foreign policy perspective, very similar to what George Bush was doing. But what they were doing was highlighting social justice issues that came about during his administration, largely obscured the fact that the foreign policies were very similar to what George Bush was doing.
Obama walked into the White House like a pop star and left like a life coach with a fancy filter. The economy didn't bounce back. Kit crawled along with news stories, making it sound better. His speeches were like bedtime stories for some people, full of pretty words, while everyone else was stressing about jobs and doctor bills. It was all flash, no fixin'. lest you count war moves, spying, and tons of rules he signed.
Barry and Michelle took a private jet down to Australia this week. Michelle looked miserable. What'd she have to be so sad about? Her husband's making millions in Australia. People are paying what, $900 a ticket just to hear him talk? Now, Obama met Australia's prime minister. Look how happy they are. Barry didn't even need the Marine to hold.
Obama had a magic trick, disappearing when trouble showed up. Tax problems. Poof, he's gone. Gun messed-ups. He's quiet like a mouse. Benghazi, too busy with basketball to notice. Jesse Watters laughed at this disappearing act. Like a magic trick that flopped, Joe called out how Obama talked like he'd fix everything but acted like a boring office worker. He promised to clean up the government but hung out with the same old power people he said he'd get rid of. Transparency. More like we're watching you or ignoring everyone.
Barack Obama's bored. Michelle's outshining him. She's a big Netflix star, best-selling author. Now she's a fruit juice tycoon. And he's just left starved for attention. Just the way Michelle likes it.
We had the wife Michelle in the show, and she had mentioned that for about 10 years, man, she really didn't like you, dog. So asking for a friend, how do you get back in good grace again for a friend? You got a friend, so I take him up.
Let me just say this. It sure helps to be out of the White House. And to have a little more time with her.
Obama went after truth-tellers harder than anyone, all while acting like he loved freedom. Joe called it the biggest fake-out since sugar-free candy. Then there's Obamacare, total mess. Like a kid trying to build a website with markers. It crashed more than an old computer. After spending tons, it gave higher bills, fewer doctors, and costs so big you'd need a new house to pay them. Everything was someone else's fault. Old leaders, Congress, even the weather. Jesse said, Obama didn't lead, he just made excuses sound fancy, like they were straight from a storybook.
Obama during this Kamala Harris administration, it changed my opinion of that guy.
Don't understand how we got so toxic, so divided, and so bitter. And
He said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that.
Did you have a high opinion of him before?
Yeah, I did just as an intelligent person, a statesman. He's probably like caught up in the system. It's very difficult to make real meaningful change. You think you're going to do something and then you get into office and you're like, oh God, what a quagmire this place is. But watching him just straight up lie about Trump.
Don't get started on his world plans. His tough line in Syria was like a kid's doodle. Libya a mess with a shrug. Iran, he gave them tons of money and a smile. Joe said Obama's peace talks were like a TV ad. Looks good, but doesn't. Or he could narrate a war movie while starting real fights like he's shopping online. People cheered because he sounded calm and wore nice suits. While the world got messy, he popped back into politics like an unwanted movie sequel. Sneaking in to stir things up while acting like he's just giving advice, Joe said it's like a retired player sneaking back to mess up the game.
Some class, Barack. Ex-presidents don't go to foreign countries to hammer other ex-presidents. It's just not done. And what he's saying is totally wrong. Obama turbocharged China. Under Obama, China built up their military, hacked our companies, stole our factories. Well, our economy had the weakest recovery since World War II.
Jesse went in hard, saying Obama taught a generation to care more about social media likes than real leading. He left behind a trail of tricky ideas pretending to be his legacy. He didn't pass a torch, he started a fire and called it progress. Now, after being president, he lives like a movie star with a beach house and a team to make him look good. He talks about saving the planet while flying private jets to big meetings. Joe said it's like a monster teaching you to wear sunscreen. His shows are all about him, like a big pat on his own back, with soft lights and happy music. Obama didn't change politics, he just gave old ideas a cool name and a playlist. Tricking everyone into thinking flash and facts are the same.
The roots of the earth.
But Obama said, get out of here, Auntie. I don't want your dumb bush. Elder Auntie got booted from the event for being too difficult. She's 78 years old. Obama didn't go all the way to Australia for a welcome bush. He's there for two reasons: make money and trash Trump. Barry says that he had China in the palm of his hand. And once Trump took over, Xi Jinping ate our lunch.
China feels it does not have to operate under the same constraints as myself.
Joe nailed it. Obama's politics are like a movie with a fancy filter and a cool beat. Jesse hit hard, saying Obama promised change but just changed the wrapping. The mess underneath stayed the same, just with better lights and music. He didn't clean up the government. He made it prettier and filmed it. The myth is cracking and the truth is sneaking out. His legacy is like old milk left in the sun. But this roast isn't over, there's more to call out. while the mess he left keeps burning. Jesse points out Obama built his brand by not being the last guy, then acted just like him but with better songs.
Confirmed about Biden.
Give me some volume and go full screen.
What you know now, do you wish you had a third term? You know what? If I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine with that.
We know he wasn't really running the country.
Yeah.
We used to think he was actually running the country, and now they're like, no, he didn't even see those executive orders. That was all auto pen.
Joe hit harder. Obama's legacy isn't about fixing stuff, it's about looking good. He doesn't solve problems, he makes them sound inspiring while they stay broken. Healthcare's still a mess. People are more divided. And money gaps grew, but he made everyone feel good for 8 years. That's not leading, it's like a pep talk with a script. Every time he talks now, it's the same old tune. Things would be better if we listened to him. Like the problems started after he left, not while he was too busy writing books to notice the country falling apart. Jesse called out Obama lecturing about money fairness from a beach mansion, like he didn't cash in like a game show winner. He talks to struggling people like he's one of them, while signing huge book deals and making shows about being humble. It's the fanciest do what I say, not what I do, ever.
You remember when they gave that speech, when he gave a speech on television, and everybody was like, fuck this. And then they were, it kind of just went away.
It was one of the most beautiful moments in modern American history. People really actually stood up, stopped a war from happening.
I authorize the United States to begin a limited military action in Libya in support of the international effort to protect Libyan civilians.
Obama walks a tightrope, knowing the news will cheer no matter how many times he messes up. Joe's not buying it. The smug grin, the big speech voice, the sneaky jabs pretending to bring people together, it's all his brand. But that brand's getting old and heavy. Behind the fancy words, dramatic pauses, and huge crowds, there's a truth no news story can hide forever. Obama promised big change but gave a long speech. He came in with "Yes, we can" and left with just a highlight reel and fans who think the music made it all matter. When the script's gone, all that's left is a guy, a myth, and a super pricey echo chamber.